Hello folks, I've got Nigel with me. It's been a long time since we've done any filming. This is a return to one of his allotments, and he's going to just take us around. It is very windy, so you'll have to excuse the wind noise. Try our best to keep it down. Okay, Nigel?
Yeah, I think it is probably 2 seasons since you had a look round this apple plot. This is in South Leicestershire, remember, and the trees that I'll show you mainly are mother trees that we're using in our apple breeding project, and we have another plot where we put most of the seedlings. One of the disadvantages of this plot is there is no mains water, so we have to collect rainwater to water the smaller and younger seedlings. Right, if you want to switch your camera around, Julie, just to give an overall view of the plot.
Okay.
You can see at the front some marrow plants. This is where the manure is delivered, and when the manure has been spread over the rest of the plot, a little bit is left here, and this is a good place to put marrows and courgettes and pumpkins and things like that.
Okay. We'll carry on walking down here, folks. You can see that, yeah.
When you last saw the plot, I'd done a cultivation of about half of this side, on the right hand side, and nothing at all on the left.
No.
But you can see now on the left, I'm gradually cultivating it slightly more thoroughly, and you can see in front of the tree, in front of the shed, we have a medlar tree. That's a very interesting fruit.
Yeah.
And then we've got a number of mother trees and seedlings behind there, the very young ones, and you can see a big sunflower plant as well.
Okay.
Shall we go down the centre or go down the edge first?
Go down the edge.
Yeah. You can see the brambles try to encroach, so I have to go round 2 or 3 times per season with a spray and some secateurs to keep them back.
Wow, just look at this, folks. Now, we had a little chat earlier, didn't we, Nigel? We were saying that the apples what you've got are not so badly infected as they were last year.
Yes, last year we had a very bad attack by a pest known as apple sawfly. And the symptoms of this are that apples show scarring on the skin. Yeah, are we okay? Yeah, apples show scarring on the skin, and many of them rot on the tree because when the sawfly lays its eggs at blossom time, the grubs gradually develop, and the substances that they excrete attract bacteria and contain bacteria, and this makes the apple get infected, and it turns brown and goes rotten actually when it's on the branch. But this year, we have not had very much sawfly attack. I did a lot of spraying. I don't like using sprays, but I did targeted spraying just on the flowers and at petal fall, and it seems to have worked. Last year we lost 90% of the fruit crop. And you can't just you can't just watch the pests do this. You have to take some action.
And I lost 100% of my Lord Lambourne apples last year. This year there's over 100 apples on easily. They're a bit small in size, some of them, but maybe now I've started giving it a summer prune. And this bit of rain what we're getting, it may make a difference. Okay, that's yeah.
You can see we've got lots of different varieties here. This one is, I think this one is Worcester Pearmain. The red one up there is Scarlet Surprise. I think that one there is Lord Lambourne. I've got a map with all of the variety names on.
Yeah.
And the trees are a lot bigger than they were last time.
I certainly can see it, yeah.
Yeah. This is an interesting plant. This is a josterberry. It's finished fruiting for this year, but this is a cross between a gooseberry and a black currant. They look like big black currants, and they taste a little bit like gooseberries with a black currant flavour.
Right.
You can see on the ground I've been putting wood chip down. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and it means that when you get weeds growing in the footpaths, they're not able to anchor themselves very well, and they pull out really easily.
Right.
So it seems to be working quite well.
These are an interesting apple, aren't they? They don't look like an apple.
No, these are, we'll be tasting these in probably about 3 weeks. These are what we call the doublemint apple. This is from a garden in Stockholm, and it's one of our red-fleshed apples.
Okay.
You can see we have some nice hollyhocks as well.
Yeah.
A few of the flowers that we get here come from the compost that we use.
Yeah.
There's lots of flowers in the garden, and when we put the compost, the seeds blow in.
Okay.
And that's where these garden plants are coming from. Oh, we've got a lovely little tree up there called Sweetings.
Oh, I recognise the name. From the apple tasting, I believe.
Yeah. Now look at this.
Wow.
Now this is an ancient Leicestershire apple, and you can see how tiny they are.
Yeah.
They're about as big as, a little bit bigger than a golf ball, but they're quite sweet. In fact, I'll take one of those off and I'll put it in my pocket for later, because we're going to do an apple tasting with it. But these are quite a mild flavour, but very, very nice.
Right.
They generally ripe about 20th of July.
Okay.
So we've been picking those for a little while. This is the first decent crop we've had on the tree.
Lovely.
A bit of sawfly here, look.
Yeah.
See, there we are.
That's it.
That must have
Take
been
that off.
a bit that I didn't spray, and you can see the infection has spread to the next apple as well.
Yeah.
Look at that.
When you get this, folks, you need to get rid of them, not drop them on the floor like
Yeah.
I sometimes do,
Yes.
because they'll come back up the tree.
Yes. And in addition to that, you can see there is another pest here, those black dots. That's known as scab,
Okay.
and that's a fungal disease, and it's caused in particular by damp conditions, too much moisture, not enough air movement. So it's very prevalent with certain varieties. That looks quite a bad one, but it's especially bad in sheltered orchards.
Right.
You can see our rainwater collection there. All of the containers are completely full, so we haven't got a water shortage, unlike last year. And these are some of our seedlings. These are new seedlings.
Are these 1 year old or 2?
These rows here are 1 year old,
Right.
so they would have been seeds last April.
Okay.
So they're actually 18 months old from planting the pip.
And this was when we last filmed, I don't think they were that much bigger, the ones over there. A little bit, because there was the odd apple on some of them. There weren't the boundaries this year.
That's right.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
time.
these are the ones which we're interested in what the fruit will be like.
Yeah.
And in February, I shall cut off the tips of most of these, and they'll be sent away for grafting and for evaluating the fruit.
Yeah.
These are a year older. You can see they're a fair bit higher.
So you pretty well utilised the whole plot now then, haven't you?
Just about, yes. Now, Julie, do you know what that is? That rack.
Oh, the rack.
Yeah. Well, we have
No,
we have a problem with disposal of cuttings and garden waste up here. So what we tend to do is put it on that rack. The wind dries it because the wind can get underneath it.
Okay.
And then we can put it on the fire.
Right.
So it stops rubbish building up. It doesn't look very good. It's a good way of getting rid of rubbish by burning.
Well, it's not too bad, is it? Really?
No, it's okay.
It's even on a you know, spotless plot, that would look reasonable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, when the wood is rotted, I shall make a proper one that looks a bit neater.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of plot down there that hasn't been used yet. I've put manure on there two years in a row.
Yeah.
But we haven't got around to using it
No.
yet.
No. It's nice to be filming again. Nice to be able to be actually, like, just walking this distance. I struggled. Last few weeks, folks, I've been struggling with, well, what the doctor thinks is vertigo.
Yeah, that's very unpleasant. I had it once.
So Nigel, looking at all your apples, what you got this year, do you think we're going to have as many tastings as last year? Or
I think we probably will. The number of trees with fruit on this year is lower than last year,
right?
but the crops seem to be more sound.
Okay.
Fewer of them are going rotten.
Okay.
They're in better condition overall.
Right.
And we've had a lot more rain on and off throughout the summer, so the maturing process has taken place at a more sensible speed.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few of the apples that we first had in the middle of July, before we had most of the rain. They ripened slightly prematurely, and the flavours weren't quite as good as they should have been, but most of the ones we're getting now seem to be quite good.
And it's amazing looking at this ground, folks, what we're walking on, how dry it is, considering we had some really heavy rain last night.
Yeah, I've had a lot of wood chip and manure delivered over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And you can feel when you walk on it, it's all spongy.
Do you remember when you first had it, how it was waterlogged?
It was dreadful. It was compacted. When it rained, there was water standing everywhere.
Yeah.
But now it's in really good condition, and there were worms everywhere, so it means that it's quite fertile.
It's good. So folks, you can see that Nigel's apple
Queen Caroline. You can see the tree is absolutely loaded. This is a Leicestershire apple.
Right.
These are big cookers. They're about half grown at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, and we have some sawfly.
Yeah,
Look
get
at
that off.
There we are. Let's get rid of that.
Now,
it really
we say
is.
sawfly, but that's what's done the damage, and then is it brown rot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sawfly.
Because people do comment on the videos, and I just thought we'd make sure we...
Yes. It's not the same kind of sawfly that you get on gooseberry bushes, because you're probably aware that on a
They strip the leaves.
Yeah, they strip the leaves.
Yeah.
And you don't see any of that with apple sawfly.
Right.
It's simply a bug that gets into the fruit and infects it.
Yeah.
It also gives scarring sometimes, but if you don't have scarring, that doesn't mean you haven't got sawfly.
Right.
Because they only scar the occasional apple. I'll just see if I can find one with scarring on it.
Yeah, it certainly are looking far better than previous years.
No, I can't see any scarring on it.
What about...
No, that's actually scab. Those spots.
Yeah.
No, I can't see any scarring. The number of sawfly here must be pretty small.
Yeah. I wonder if that's down to the conditions we've had this year. Weather conditions.
I think that's certainly
It's been a bit of
part
a funny year, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been very dry, then it's been quite very wet.
Wet.
But we haven't had warmth and a lot of moisture at the same time,
No.
which is what the sawfly probably
Yes,
would
definitely.
cause that to flourish.
And we are expecting a windy weekend.
Yeah.
Weather warnings issued. So that could cause a few problems with things being blown off. Anything else to say, Nigel?
I don't think so about this plant, though we'll probably revisit it when we get further on into the autumn.
Yeah.
And we've got more mature fruit to talk about.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot then folks for watching the video, and say we're doing an apple tasting, so that will follow this one, and hopefully we'll do a few more following Nigel during the next few months.
Okay, thank you for watching.